Okay, we have a fun project this morning. The other day when I took this Porsche 914 to the autocross, of course I had to load it into a trailer, and getting the tie downs secure was troublesome. Um, so I want to add some tie down points to the rear. I'll figure out something on the front later, but this will also give me a chance to take a look at these rear shocks, which I know are soft. The springs are soft, shocks are marginal, but I'm not really ready to replace them at this time, mainly because of cost. But let me show you why I kind of have to take that apart to put these tie downs in there. So here's the passenger side, and you can see it looks like it's been leaking some. I mean, it's hard to tell back here because you get so much oil, coming off leaks from the engine or whatever. So I know that spring needs to be compressed before I drop this thing. And it's just so basically how this works is you've got this one big control arm, like some guys call it the banana or whatever. You've got your CV axle, and so once you pull the shock off, that will have a tendency to drop. Now what I'll do is I'll put a jack stand under here to support it so it doesn't monkey up my muffler and my heat exchanger and stuff like that. But the first step is get a spring compressor in here just to make sure, because I know that spring is compressed right now. Let's take a look at the other side. This side may be a little bit better, probably leaking a little. But whether these are original or not, I have no idea. Looks like this one's got some damage to it. Some stuff got caught up in it. So yeah, they definitely need to be replaced. So ultimately what I'd like to do is put the Coney single adjustables back here with some little bit heavier springs, maybe 100-pound springs. I think stock is pretty light, like, I don't know, I'd have to research that, but it ain't much. The car's light. So aside from compressing the spring, and I've already started on this side, is you've got to take that big bolt out, and it's a little bit tight. You can't really get a socket in there, so I just used a big adjustable wrench, and on the end you'll find a large nut. I think that's about probably 22 millimeter. So let me get the spring compressor on here and we'll get the bolt out. So ultimately what I want to do is put the attachment point right here on the end of this bolt. And I can't really weld that with it in place because it'll cook up that bushing. Because it's going to be some pretty heavy welding to get that nice and secure. So that's going to get really hot. So I was really only able to get one spring compressor on there because the type of spring compressor I have and the strut tower is super tight, and the shock and spring go way up in there, so it's just really crowded. But with putting a little pressure on the control arm and the bearing tube, it's able to find the sweet spot and get that bolt out. All right, that's a bolt, which has kind of an unusual head on it. Thank God they clipped it off, otherwise you wouldn't be able to grab it. And then this was basically a shackle that I had laying around. I think it's probably for a trailer. I just cut it in half because I don't need all that length. And so the plan is basically to take half of this and weld it to the bolt head. And I'll figure out the distance and everything, and that'll give me a nice tie down. Yeah, pretty messy welds. Still using the stupid flux wire. I can't seem to find argon gas for my MIG welder, but this will be functional. Passes the destruction test, that's for sure. All right, so here's what we ended up with. I think it'll be pretty robust, and it'll certainly make tying the car down in the trailer much easier, because I'll basically put a shackle in there. I got these big heavy-duty metal self-closing shackles, and stick those on there, and Bob's your uncle. So next, figure out a way to do some kind of attachment points on the front, because what I have been doing is going up on the control arms, and I'm not real keen on that. So I'll take a look at that, figure out something. May come hand in hand with replacing that front pan or something. All right, quick and easy. Thanks, guys.